Hi, I'm Tracy Kilgore. I'm your host of Neuroneutral. This is my co-host, Julie Olson. We are going to dive deep into all things ADHD with our very special guest, Lance Bush.
Hi, everybody.
What do you do for work?
What do I do for work?
And how did you get to where you are right now with your career?
With my career?
Yeah.
So, I am a credit expert and real estate agent. I was taught 15 years ago by the credit bureaus how to understand credit the right way.
2008?
2006.
Oh, that was the best
So you
time
learned
to be
a
in
lot.
there.
I was going to say, you learned a lot then.
I learned a
Because
lot
that
then.
was like during like the transition of credit changing.
Well, that was right before the crash.
Changing,
Exactly,
and
and
that's
it
right before
changed.
these credit repair places came out and said you just write some letters and you
Yeah.
can get rid of your payments.
Isn't that interesting?
Yeah, I would have a Bentley in the parking
Sometimes
lot
I'm
if I
always
could
like,
do that.
how does
It's
this
not
stuff
real.
work? This is how society works.
Oh, actually, I did work with a company who did actually do that. Mm-hmm. And they just kept bugging the crap out of them to pull off little medical dings for
Yeah,
$25 that
it's not worth it. You just go negotiate it yourself. So I help people understand it. And my career came about, I had big accounts, Wells Fargo, Quicken Loans. These guys pulled credit through me. So there's an in-between person that people pull credit through from the mortgage companies, and I was that person. So I went in and learned for 3 days how to understand algorithms before algorithms were anything like today, before
Ooh,
Facebook,
that is
before
so
all
cool.
of that stuff. So
That's so cool.
the algorithms that they have and the information that they have out there, it's all the same.
Mm-hmm.
All of the people that are in the industry do the same stuff. I don't. I'm a consultant. I'm not a repairman. I don't look like a repairman. You know what I mean? So
Let's put some
we consult.
overalls
We
in.
help people understand this is what happened. Here's how we fix it. There's only one right way. There's no loopholes. These are billion-dollar companies, each of the bureaus. They have attorneys to fix loopholes. If we could just have some stranger send a bunch of letters for us, then why do all of the people sending people to these credit repair companies still have mortgages and things like that if we could just make them disappear? You know what I'm saying? So I come in and help fix the foundation. So what's the problem? Well, I went through a divorce. Well, I went through bankruptcy. I had cancer. I've gone through, and I specialize in the things that I've gone through. And I've gone through divorce, bankruptcy, cancer, and that. So I come from a human point of it. I want to fix your soul, your heart, your head, then your finances. And then we help get them into houses, get them into loans, get them into places so that they're able to thrive.
Oh my gosh.
love it. All of it.
Oh, this makes me so excited.
Yeah. So that's why I decided, and real estate has been something it's a great place to be. It's a great place for your money, and it's a great place to grow. And it's also a great place to learn. And I've taken the last 20 years and I've learned a lot. I've gone to different brokerages to see what everything's like and checked everything out. And I've learned a lot. A lot of people think I may have been jumping, but I was really just learning.
Yeah.
See, y'all?
See,
Told you.
ADHD, but that's
So,
what we do. It's
that's
because
what
we like
do.
to learn the whole picture, understand snippets, and then you put it together, you put that puzzle. Now you can see the potholes and ins and out. And then that's where I truly believe that when it comes to an ADHD superpower, we can really use that in companies or as entrepreneurs because we solve.
We saw. And I don't know if you all are empaths, but I am.
Mm-hmm.
And so being able to teach by my example has been huge for me. When I go to Huntsman and I'm talking to the guys that are sick that have colon cancer, and I'm like, and they think I'm going to lose my hair, I'm going to be sick, I'm going to be that. And I'm like, no, you're not going to feel good, but you can look good again. You can be healthy. You can push through the storms. You just stop worrying about it. Take the worry out of life, out of what's about to happen. And I put that on air. Sorry, I keep hitting my mic. I put that on air for people not to worry and just get healthy. And we'll fix the medical debts. And that's big because with ADHD, with cancer, with everything, it's giving yourself space and grace to heal.
So what would you say that you tapped into? Because creating a space where you put the worry somewhere else or you learn how to calm it down is not simple for a lot of people.
No, it's still not simple for me either.
So for me, it's a daily thing.
Daily.
So I would love
Hourly.
you to share for yourself, like what specifically, we know you meditate. That's a great tool to use. But if you would share some of your other tools that you use to do that, I'd love to hear.
I watch what I take in. I listen, and it's like you talked about earlier, how you pay attention to your words. I pay attention to the words I say, the words I hear. If I start hearing something negative, I change it. The self-talk. The self-talk, I am harnessing and understanding that, okay, the day is going to be whatever this head makes it be. Because I've had really good days and gone home and felt awful. And I'm like, how did this not just take me to a new level? Well, it was just that day. But I constantly work at it. I won't give up. I've got reasons to be here.
Amen.
I'm not going to just cave. And I'm a fighter. And I'm not going to lose, especially to just the way that I was made, that some people put some letters on it. Like, I'm so damn unique that, trying to put a label on me is hard.
Your
There's lots of
self-love is awesome. I like it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've just learned it. And the self-love was big. The
It's
self-love,
powerful.
yeah. I just got out of a relationship, and it took me dark, like just to a place where I didn't want to be here anymore.
I get that.
And in that place, I learned self-love. And from her, she taught me self-love, take care of my body and do these things. And when there's a storm, there'll be a bath. You know what I mean? And then there's that time, there's that morning. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So, and it is about taking care of yourself. And now that I have an opportunity to stay here and to do this again, I want to do it even better. I want to do, okay, now I have my second half of my life to go. You know what I'm saying? So what do I want to do with it? I'm going to be better to myself. It's going to be different. It's going to be happy. It's going to be healthy. I'm going to be happier, more loving to myself. I'm going to give myself space and grace.
Yes.
And that's the constant talk. Like, I don't ever think it's going to just go away
No, I
one
don't
day,
think so.
and there's not a pill, and there's not a thing. But I think it's just, you finally can get comfortable enough with yourself.
You're saying you started meditation when you're younger, and then it started to evolve, and you're getting better at harnessing it with it. And then you started going through that as well and learning through it in your 30s. Guys, I just barely started learning that like a few years ago.
Well, okay, so this is what I think is very important to that whole idea is anyone listening, meditation and those kinds of practices, that's exactly what they are. They're a practice. You never really perfect them and get to where you're done learning and growing from
Yeah,
it.
I don't think you should perfect it. I
but
feel
so
like
many
it's like
people,
walking.
LeBron James still misses once in a while.
Yeah, see,
You know
that's what
what
I'm
I mean?
saying.
That's
LBJ,
No, but people so many times are like, I try to meditate, I just can't do it. I'm like, no, you're expecting a result. That's the problem. You don't do that in meditation.
or what is your
You just
expectation
be.
of what
Just
meditation is?
Notice, and every
Yes.
time you go off on a tangent in your mind,
Release it.
come back
Just let it
to your
go
breath.
and be like, oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and observing your thoughts, that was very hard for me to learn how to do and just see them swim by.
Yeah,
And-
I have to watch them go from here, and I can feel it shift and move through my body, and I push it out my feet.
Oh my gosh, I want to
Take
learn
the
how to
next
do
one.
that.
I know, shifting it. There's a lot. I'm still learning a lot. It's only been like a year and a half since
Where
I've
do you-
been right to where I could start.
Where do you go to
Coming back.
learn that? Or where,
Online.
Online? Do you go? Do
Not
you go
online,
to
on
any
books.
places
I
here
go
in
to
Utah?
book- No, I
Is there
need
any?
to.
So
Oh,
I'm saying we
No,
need to-
but I
there
have
are.
a few places
There
we
are
can
places.
check out. And this would be fun to do, the three of us.
I'm just saying we
and
need
a
to do
couple
an
of other
event.
ADHDers. And just,
It would, because I'm very private with my stuff. Like, I'm very private. Like, I do yoga, but I don't go to a studio where other people get to see me do yoga. I was a
okay,
football
okay. I see
player,
what you're
so I
saying.
have so there's, but it's just, I don't know, it's giving
I think
up
we
the
could get you to do
thought.
yoga.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I
Yeah.
feel like
We could.
it's kind of like what Michael was saying in our last episode, where she was saying the more and more that she learns about herself, meditation, breathing, all that, it's like the more and more she wants less.
Yeah, and she accepts that it's okay to just have less and not you having that FOMO and that always
Yeah.
having to go and that kind of thing. I was always on the go, and now that I'm not always on the go all the time, finding and filling that space with positivity and just reading. I've read Mastery of Love, Untethered Soul. Untethered Soul is a book that I tell people about when they start their journey. Because Untethered Soul, the Four Agreements, those books teach you about this person that's up inside your head, And that's the thing, is you've got to make peace with yourself and your past.
So freaking true.
So you've got to make peace with, okay, I've done some things that I wish I didn't do, but I've done a lot of things that are freaking amazing. And I'm not going to be defined off of one bad trip or one bad this or one bad that. I am defined off of the fact that I'm still here and I'm a good human.
Hells yeah.
I'm not an alcoholic and all these things. That's the goal, is just being able to talk yourself into loving yourself enough. And it's taken me at 47, 8 years. I'm still doing it. I still have therapy. I went deep with my mom last night about some things. And I constantly, when something comes up in my head, I know I don't have that feeling of, okay, I got to fix it right now.
But are you saying that's what you used to have prior before? Because that is what I'm going through right now.
It's just time, and it's over. Even before I came
That's
here,
good to know.
I went and let my dog out, and I was there, and I'm like, okay, you're good. I know you don't feel 100%, bro, but you can still. I was in my mirror in my bathroom, like, I know you can do this. And that's what it's about, being your biggest fan, being your own coach, being your own safe place. Because if you're the one doing the beating up in your own head, that's where it's bad.
So I need to add something to that, because surrounding yourself with the right people is also key, because important. If you're the only one who is kind to yourself and everyone around you is not, that's really hard to manage. Not impossible.
I feel like you can only get
difficult.
so far, and the time frame of healing it's going to be even longer.
It is. You have to clear. In 2023, I called my year of my clearing, and I cleared all of the negatives, the narcissistic, the gaslighting, the vibrations that suck.
Yes.
I removed. I literally did. I made huge
was that
changes.
Hard? Was it
hard.
easy?
It messed me up. I was a basket case for months. But now I'm starting to be on the other side of it. Now I'm like, okay, well, you learned self-love. You learned how to take care of yourself. You learned a lot. You learned that love hurts. You learned that running isn't always good. So I had to learn my own lessons. I'm not perfect. I try to be. I try to be cool all the time. I try to be kind all the time because I live in heart. But accepting the fact that, especially if you're empathic and you have, ADDs or ADHDs or whatever, you've got to be able to be cool to yourself. Because if you're not cool to yourself, other people will be a jerk to you.
And I'm loving that.
I said jerk. That was good.
I'm loving.
I'm using good words in 2024.
It's all good. Like jerky.
Jerky.
They're just dry.
Jerker.
They're just dry, right?
Yeah.
No, but honestly, though, I really think that those are super important to have as you're growing. I really do.
Yeah.
Our producers are waving at us.
Yeah.
They're saying, time's wrapping up.
Time's wrapping up.
No, we're staying here because we got ADHD.
Right.
So I did want to say something when you brought up alcoholic, because I feel like it's really important for people listening if they do have some tendencies to drink. I'm going to share something about myself. So I didn't drink every day, but I got to a point where I was drinking quite a bit and quite a lot. And once I started going through all my therapy and working through my trauma, like my serious trauma, like the big parts that I wanted to ignore all the time, after so much healing, I just didn't want to drink anymore. You just
lose your taste, yeah. I've had my bouts with things too. They just go away.
It shows me that I was trying to escape with the alcohol and just take myself away and not be responsible for anything I did and just be free, which can be very dangerous. And you can do a lot of stupid things when you're in that state. And I'm actually really grateful because
you survived it.
Yeah, so that means I don't actually believe in alcoholic. Whatever works for you is great. So if AA works for you, which I've attended before when I was young, I think the whole 12-step program, everyone should do it. Every single person on this planet, because it is very telling of all the things you've gone through and where you need to stop the negativity. But I don't think alcoholism is something that is like they say. And this is my opinion completely. So take it however you want. But I think that if you do the work and you explore deep enough and work with someone who knows what they're doing, like a Michael Tolk or like a Dr. O'Neill, which was my doctor that I worked with, and literally can lead you away from that, where your body and your brain no longer want that.
No, you stop chasing that. You become better. Like for me, the big thing was being okay with being calm. So being okay with being calm, like, okay, nothing's happening.
Exactly.
So I'm not
like
gonna
the boredom.
trip. Yeah,
I
like,
get
I'm
you on
not-
that.
okay,
Oh
so
my
I'm not gonna
gosh!
trip.
Even
So
thinking about it
but
makes me feel
that's-
cringe.
But yeah, that's the thing is, it's I mean with the right doctors and with the right medications and with the right love and with the right support, we can do a lot of things. But you guys doing this podcast is huge because everybody knows I have ADHD. They just do. I don't have to tell them. But I've been like
I laugh
closet.
because it's the same way too.
I've been like closet as far as like
Expressing
with
it and like
yeah.
telling people.
But
Yeah.
now that I've been able to do all these things and survived all this stuff, I'm
So
on the
I
soapbox
outwardly-
now.
I totally get you on
Outwardly
that.
wouldn't have thought that, but with the
I don't
conversation
think
we were
that either,
having, I'm
but I
like,
get it.
okay, he's speaking my language, so I think he does.
I'm just saying, 100%. Like allowing you to express yourself. I loved what you said. He didn't say this on air, but he was saying earlier that so many people judge you before meeting you. I don't know how many times people judge me before meeting me,
Dude,
especially if I'm in a stage of like in my quietness. And I'm like, dude, do you not know me?
Yeah, I don't have as many personalities as people think, or like I'm one way, I'm this way, I'm that way, and that's the perception that people get, and their perception's not coming from being there when you're sick, being there when you were going through these hard struggles.
Yes.
They're just going off your Instagram and did I go on a trip this week or did I not? They'll check in. We didn't see you post what happened, and then I got to explain. I was in a car accident. Blah 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 blah. But yeah, it's getting to a point where other people's perception doesn't matter
Yes.
And that's
unless
golden.
they're the people I want
Yes.
around me, and like my friends here, like their perception matters to me. That's why the people that we work with, they're so blunt and open with me because I want to have it. Don't sugarcoat it.
I agree.
Don't beat around the bush. Just give it to me straight
Same.
and let me take it in. Take it in. Look at it. And if it works, keep it. If it doesn't work, get rid of it.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So
Absolutely.
those lessons.
100%.
Those lessons.
And I just think, well, let me ask you this because it makes me think of. I remember having this one comment from one of my managers, and I remember her saying to me, "Julie, every time I see you, like you looks like you change." And I think it's
You're growing.
because for me, not only am I growing, but it was like what you were saying earlier. There's so many faces of you, and I think that can come from masking. There's different faces of you, and so only certain people see certain sides of you. And I would say that happened a lot with me before I got diagnosed, and when I got diagnosed, that I started to understand it more. I'm like, oh, so this is what ADHD is. I didn't know what ADHD was. I just kept hearing it, and I just heard it, and then when I
There's
started
so many
going through
versions,
it, and then as I start feeling it and applying it into my life, and I'm like, oh, this is what ADHD is. Yes, this is putting words to feelings and thoughts that I didn't know how to put words to. Okay, now that I understand that, now I'm able to decipher how to maneuver. And so it's hard when I do go to people that I know and, I want them to accept me for me, and yet they bring those things, either my old self up, or they bring, oh, you've changed. I'm like, what does that mean, though? Like, what does that mean?
So
We're
I-
in
you
a
know what I
constant
mean?
state of change. We're always in a constant
That
state
is
of
true.
change.
But I feel like when you release trauma, because I was looking at pictures from before I started my journey with dealing with the big trauma, and that I look different.
Same.
Physically look lighter and happier. Like in all my pictures, there was a time when there was like this, I don't know, like this
That's
heavy
true. I see what you're saying.
on my face.
Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
for sure.
So once it was released,
Yeah.
I-
Your glow comes back.
Yes.
And you glow brighter. I've heard it 3 times this week. Lance, your glow is coming
I
back.
feel younger.
Yeah.
Which
Oh,
is crazy, right?
I have days where I feel younger. I do. Like I do. And I really do. I feel like once you release the guilt, shame,
Shame is a
And-
big one for me.
and all
Was
of
a big
this
one.
stuff in your life, in your head, that, I mean, I have really nothing. I mean, there's been a couple things in my life I wish I didn't do, but if I changed anything that I had done in my life, I wouldn't be where I'm at. I wouldn't be able to help as many people as I'm able to help. I wouldn't be able to relate. If I were to have just stayed in the church, gone on my mission, got married on the temple, and done that, great. I have had everything in common with my church. But because I didn't, and I went a different route, and I was multicultural by the time I was 15, 16 years old, that's given me the ability to use my ADHD, and it's helped so that I'm able to relate with more people. And understanding how to relate with people, to me, when you relate with somebody, that's when you can get in with that vibration, is once you relate. Because you can see somebody, like somebody, and they can be beautiful and whatever, but it's when you get that when you relate. And there's this thing called trauma bond out there that I've heard of, okay? Yes. And I get it, but then there's a thing called support groups. I think they could be, did they just change the spelling? I'm just kidding. But no.
No, but trauma bonding, you're right.
I'm saying, I am.
I've never heard it like that. That's so funny.
Yeah, but I'm one of the people where I don't want to put headings. I don't even know how to put headings on my own Facebook posts and things like that. Like, I'm almost ready to ask ChatGPT how to do that. Just do it for me, because I'm to a point where I'm done. I'm done worrying. I'm watching the world. I see how different we are. I see how messed up things are. And I told my kids, don't have a bunch of kids. Don't have 4 daughters. Not in this world. Don't go. This is not the same planet we live in. People are not the same. People blow people up now just because they want a better highway for their food and stuff to come in. Like, we don't live in a rational society. So trying to be rational in an irrational society is really hard. So just do your best every day and never give up. Never. And I've called the 211 hotline before. And I've been to the place where I haven't want to come back. But now that I'm out of it and I want to be here and I'm seeing the light, I'm giving myself the space, and I'm introduced to you guys. And thank you so much for having me on your show today.
So cool.
It's all growth. Yes. And it's all healing. And when I meditate, I say these words over and over when I start. I'm happy, I'm healthy, and I'm healing.
Oh, the 3 H's.
Yeah. So those 3 things are a constant thing for me, especially for the next few years, but with the chemo and stuff coming out. But I want to get to the point where I'm saying I'm happy, I'm healthy, and I'm healed. And that's my goal.
But do you think you ever are done healing? I feel like
because
it's
people
constant.
keep making new wounds.
Well, no, seriously, you have to process things on a regular basis.
That's true.
But you get faster at it. You get more efficient at it. And then your body isn't holding on to all that because you're actually processing all of it. I have a tagline for you. You said you had trouble putting on your... How about evolving and transforming, or constantly or always evolving and transforming? Because that's what you're doing.
I love that. Your words are amazing. Thank you for them. Thank you. I'm going to use that.
Yeah,
do it. You need to.
I am.
That's why she's our ADHD coach.
Yeah. Thank you for having me out today, you guys. You guys are amazing.
Hey, well, I appreciate you sharing. Yes. I'm sure we could talk forever.
Always.
But I don't know how long we've been in here. About 40 minutes?
Oh, yeah. This is a good... Yeah.
That's a good one.
So I would love you to share maybe specific tools besides meditation that you might think are super valuable for ADHDers that work for you. You can pick like a specific moment and be like, this is what I did and this is how I handled it. And if you can't think of anything, that's okay too.
That's big. There's a lot that popped in. Let's go back to July 12th.
All right.
July 12th. I was not in a good place. Didn't know I wasn't supposed to not take the medication. And didn't take it for a couple days and kind of spun me out. And I made some big decisions, got unengaged, started the clearing process out. And
from your medication?
From my medication, from life, from seeing everything, feeling everything, I knew something had to change. Even though it looked great, and even though I was going like this, I knew that something in the foundation was off. So I went into I went into almost like a hibernation for 5-6 months. And I grabbed The Four Agreements. It's a book.
Have you read it? Del Miguel Ruiz. It's good. I have it.
Our brokerage is in the midst of reading that right now.
Yeah.
I think we're
Yeah.
in chapter 3 or 4 right now.
I've read it like 100 times.
It's
So good.
actually my first time going through it.
Yeah, and you'll
very
love
good.
it. And I read
It's
it
good so
over
far.
and over again. And I read and I read and I listened to audiobooks and I started to talk about it. About probably a month and a half ago, I started talking about it, and that's when it started going away. So I started talking to people about it instead of keeping it hidden, because I was in a place where I thought everybody was going to use my words against me. I started realizing that I've got to recycle. I've got to get it out. So I started therapy. And I started therapy not just with a therapist, but with my friends, with my family, with everyone, where we dug deep with emotions. My broker Tony and I have gone through it, and it's finding the real love through communication. And then you don't feel by yourself, and you don't feel isolated. And I was adopted, so most of the people in my family are not like me. I'm the only one who's like me in my family. And so it's very hard to find that peace, but by reading and talking and getting it out and finding people who understand, that's what heals me. That's what continues to heal me. And talking and being out there is what's going to continue to heal me. It's going to stop. I've got trust issues, right? So I don't want to have them anymore.
Do you feel like people with ADHD commonly have trust issues and feeling alone?
I think it's just people.
I can say for me, absolutely.
But yeah.
I feel alone all the time.
Yep. I think that's the fear that is created because of the way you're talked to or spoken to about who you are and how you show up as a child, and thank God it is going to be different now for kids because it's becoming.
And I loved hearing that. I was like, oh, that's so cool that like those things are changing with you and you're
And they
even
have
with
to
your
change.
family line.
Yeah.
Well, no, and just think, what if we started schools and catered to the child's strengths instead of teach everybody this?
Yep. And if you don't fit in, then we're just going to get you through.
Yeah, we'll put you over in this other group, aka the ADHD group. Oh, I love his suit coat. Our producer is here again. I know. We're both like, our producer's again telling us to wrap up. I'm just kidding.
Well, yeah, this journey is one that I just think it's constant.
Yes. I'm grateful you're mentioning that.
Yeah. I don't think there's an end to it. Just
Same.
like with life. I've watched people that have had it, that have died at 80, and they still fight with the same things. But I think coming to agreement with yourself that you're just got to be the best Avatar, the best Lance, the best who you can be every day in every circumstance. And the cool thing about, and I believe people with ADHD have this quality more than anybody, you can see everybody's part of the story. So being in real estate, like we are,
I love that.
being able to see
I was like,
every part of the story is so, and people that are
It all matters.
I don't have anything
Yes.
wrong with me. I'm super
Exactly.
smart. I'm like, this is like, yeah, you're smart, but you can't see shit.
yeah.
Like, sorry, but you can't see anything but your own self.
Exactly.
We have to see everybody because we can feel and hear what their thoughts are just by being too
Exactly.
close to them. Right.
Yeah. Yep.
So, yeah.
It's hard to explain though.
It is hard to explain. And I think a lot of times people don't even know they have these capabilities because they're so stuck in like the trauma that they've experienced because of their ADHD. So harnessing and tapping into that and finding your community.
Let it go.
But find a community. Like if you don't have a community, then tap into this podcast every week and listen.
listen.
Because
100%.
For sure.
We'll be here for you.
And we want questions, so put them down below.
Put them down. Let us answer something.
Yep.
Thank
All right,
you all
guys.
so much for having me.
If you guys have any questions, I kind of like the whole question thing. If you guys have any questions
Yes.
for our guest here, Mr. Bushy will allow any answers to give. So
Yeah,
definitely
I'm
write them
here
down, and we'll shoot them over to him.
Thank you both so
How
much.
can our listeners get a hold of you? Follow you?
Yeah, follow me at Lance Bush or Lance Struck.
Okay.
LanceStruck on Instagram.
Okay, I will put that down below as well.
Put that down there, and then just check me out on Instagram, Facebook, message me. You know, it's cool. It's a wild ride, and I'm
anyone
here.
that's needing credit repair, guys, this is your man.
Yeah, we do some different level stuff. Yeah,
and I'm excited
changing
to
lives.
seriously. I just see us partnering together.
Yep,
Seriously, but anywho,
that'll be good.
guys, things are great. See, that's what I'm saying. ADHD just brings find your support group, not your trauma bonding. All right, find your
Yep.
support group. I love that.
Find your love.
I love
Yes.
that. Because
Community makes a big difference. The more and more I
Huge.
surround myself with people like y'all, I'm like, this is where I fucking belong. Oops,
Yeah.
sorry.
it's
it's good.
understanding, and then from there, guess what? When you feel safe, when you feel protected, when you feel happy, when you feel like you're being helped, guess what? That then releases your mind to not focus on the survival, and then it allows you to then create.
Create, grow, take in the nutrients like a
Yes. So I feel like that's what we're all trying to get to, but a lot of us are stuck in before, where we're in our negative, when we're in ourselves, and so learning how to get out of that through meditation or breathing or support groups or therapy. There's so many things that we're going to continuously talk on this podcast. And I just want to keep saying thank you, Lance, because
You're welcome. Thank you
I just
for
loved your
having me.
story. I thought it was awesome and amazing and
Yes,
beautiful.
I feel like we can learn a lot from your experience. There is one thing I want to add to all the
Yeah.
great things you just said, but for me, when I realized I do not need to believe one thing someone else says about me if I don't want to. If I do, okay,
That's
great.
powerful.
Take it in.
But when you take that in, it becomes part of you. So if it's something negative, which a lot of times it is, yep,
Let it go.
just kick it away. You don't need it.
Oh, I did that the other day. A guy came up and started saying something to me, and I just went, and he walked away. So yeah, just flick it away.
Or you can physically just
I do. Yeah, I'm pretty expressive. I don't really even. I'm pretty
I love that.
unfiltered.
Just do it, man.
Yeah,
Just do it.
Just do it in a loving, kind way.
Exactly.
Be unfiltered, but don't be a jerk. You know what I'm saying? Be real, but don't hurt.
Yeah, I'm with
That's
you
it.
on that.
That's it. Use your words for peace, not war.
Thank you for joining us on our latest episode of Neuroneutral, where we explore, create, and discover all things managing ADHD. Please join us every week for new information and the latest on managing your own ADHD.